Now, most of the big block and blown sedans in Australia will run a Chrysler-derived engine. Why have you stuck with the Chevy?
Well, back in the States, we run Super Chevy Circuit and IHRA, and you're not allowed to run a Chrysler engine.
Now, John, can you tell us a little about your car, the history of your racing, and where you're planning to go to from here?
Well, I started out as a street car and used to street race a little bit, and then went from all steel, the glass windows, everything, to driving bracket races, and then went AA altered, and then pro modified.
Now, how quick have you got the car to go down the track?
I've gone 6:45, 2:17.
Now, John, you've had a chance to hear a little about the Australian you'll be racing tonight, John Zapp.
Yep.
What are you expecting?
I'm expecting some pretty good fast races. He's got a new car, so he'll be tough. It's a lot lighter than his old car.
Coming at you after the break, John Zappia back on the track in his brand new Holden Statesman. From Triple M Ravenswood Raceway for this big event, the Channel 10 Golden State Championships. Coming up now, super stock and a very, very exciting bracket.
Robbie Gaikhorst with his RX-7 Mazda. This car has a small block Chevy, a very, very tough competitor, and another of the cars that can reset a national record tonight. To set that record, Gaikhorst must go quicker than the existing record twice.
Rob de Mamil's Immaculate Holden Calais, a beautifully prepared car. Rob de Mamil running a Chevy 377 on board this Calais, running in the B gas bracket. And this is going to be a tough race.
De Mamil very serious about doing well here at the Golden States. He has sent the engine to South Australia to put it on a dyno to chase every bit of horsepower, and we wish him well. And lots of power from the car. Front wheel coming up in the air. Possibly the energy is working the wrong way in the chassis. He'll be happy with this pass, though. He'll get to the end of the track second, but wins on a red light for Rob Gaikhorst. Gaikhorst leaving too early and rolling through the 936.
Graham Sims, first time at the track for him in this brand new car, a Chevy 360 on board the B-Gasser, a Toyota Supra, and Simo will be anxious to do well here.
A beautifully presented car back at the track for the first time this season. The crew looked fantastic, and this vehicle was the winner of the Snap-on Tours Best Presented Car and Crew Award.
In the other lane, Steve Flynn, the beautiful VP Commodore. And this is another one of these cars that is really performing well here at Triple M Ravenswood Raceway. Running a Buick 345, and Flinney really knows how to drive it hard.
Had a very eventful season so far, doing very well in the national points and also running very hard in the state championship.
Both vehicles locked away. Graham Sims, Steve Flynn. The tree about to count down. The greens come on, they both get out quick. Flynn, the quicker, he comes out real fast, and he's got a big hole shot there. Heads off down the quarter. Oh, this Commodore is really flying at the top end and gets there with an 8.71 at 232 Ks.
He's very happy with that. He moves up into round two. Peter Hamilton's Holden Statesman, recently finished car, built at Byrne's race cars in Malaga. A West Australian vehicle through and through, and Pete and his crew have been working steadily at improving the times from this big block Chevy-powered Statesman.
Terry Stacey's Mazda RX-7, a rotary 80 on board this car. And Stacey, a very, very quick improver down here at Ravenswood Raceway. Had some problems early in the season, but has got them all sorted out for today's racing.
The Mazda Rotary is allowed to compete in Superstock this season for the very first time, and Stacey hoping to be the first person to set a national record with this class of car. Stacey got away first, a very good hole shot. Hamilton will chase hard with the big block. He'll make huge horsepower from half track, but Stacey is in front right now and gets an easy win, a 9.36 at 237 kilometres an hour, and that is quicker in speed than the existing national record. One more time and we'll see a new one.
George Saparovich in the Nissan 300 ZX, a big block on board this car, lines it up for the burnout, and really stands on the power, comes out of the burnout strong and straight.
George's personal bests are better in ET and in speed than the existing national records, and this Pontiac nearly 500 cubic inches, well over 7.5 litres of naturally aspirated power. Errol Quartermain has a turbo on a Ford six-cylinder, a 191 six-cylinder in a Holden Tirana. Both cars racing in different classes will use different handicaps to start, and Errol gets to go on the chase right now.
A real David and Goliath battle. The little Tirana up against the big block Nissan 300 ZX, and the ZX is going to get there first. Heads off down the quarter and picks up the win with an 8.24 at 245 Ks.
At 245 Ks, he was also quicker than his national record. We may see another improvement there. John Zappia and his crew at the centre of attention in the pit area this afternoon with his brand new 1995 model Holden Statesman making its debut. This car is powered by all the mechanicals from his HQ Holden, making it a potential 200-mile-an-hour car straight off the trailer. Zappia and his crew have put together this sedan using a funny car chassis. It's an innovation in Australian drag racing and a direction that Zappia has been planning to go for quite some time.
And Stu turned out in typical Zappia and Southside engine centre style, an immaculate car, and I am looking forward, like everyone else on the mount, to watch this car head off down the quarter.
Well, it's another fantastic flagship for the Penrite sponsorship, and John Zappia with a perfect burnout. Going through his licensing routine right now, this is his first full pass in the car. ANDRA, the Australian National Drag Racing Association, put down the regulations for the licensing of vehicles to ensure that all vehicles meet the same standards when they come into competition. Zappia has performed a half-track burnout and a half-track pass, and he's now on the start line for his first full-track pass.
The tree counts down, Zapp's out on a clean green, the car porpoises a little bit, he's on a good number, it's straight and good. He goes through the quarter, the chutes don't come out, and he's on the brakes. Zapp is in trouble.
He's in big trouble, Frank. He's going to head off the end of the track. He'll be doing about 150 kilometres an hour as he does, and a big cloud of dust. There is a big problem for John Zappia. It looks like the car has gone over at the bottom end.
Let's take a look at the slow motion replay. Zappia leaves the line, the car porpoises there, Stu, and now he gets back on the noise and keeps it nice and straight.
First full noise pass down the track, a 6.7 at 333 Ks, and right now John Zappia is squeezing the brakes. The safety crew have seen that Zappia's chutes have not come out. He should be dragging the chutes across the finish line, and they are already chasing him down the track. Zapp slows to about 150 Ks and then bites the dust on the grass, and Zapp's rat number 2 rolls over. A tragic debut for John Zappia's beautiful new Statesman.
It was fine. I knew it was happening. I knew it went over. I was conscious the whole time, and then I was just sitting there upside down going, great. This is great.
I know. There goes the paintwork.
Yeah, there goes the paintwork that we just finished.
High safety standards in drag racing in Australia have certainly saved John Zappia. When we return on Coming At You, Connor has been selected to do battle with the USA Chevy star John Scialpi.
O'Connor's 351 is really going to have to perform well, and O'Connor has some big plans for this race.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to John's car, but I'm just thankful that I've got the opportunity to race a guy of John's reputation. Obviously, I'm a little bit of an underdog with such a small engine and a heavy car, but I'm just going to go out and do the best that I can and see how we go.
A big challenge for Western Australia's Murray O'Connor as he backs the Ford 351 up Stewie Bond. A typical battle, Ford versus Chevy.
Well, it certainly is. Two very different cars, though. O'Connor's car probably about 400, maybe 500 horsepower down on the Chevy and weighing about 600 pounds, nearly 300 kilos more. Bob Murray races in a different class to the 57 Chev, but he is not going to be outclassed on the start line. Cuts very good reaction times and currently has a personal best of a 7.98 seconds.
Both vehicles locked away. They come out side by side. Scialpi's got the better of him at this stage. A good pass by John Scialpi. Gets there with a 6.7 at 318 Ks.
Well, Murray O'Connor, not to be outdone, ran 285 Ks and a 791 personal best.
Barry Wood back on the track in the little Tirana, running a 330 Chevy up alongside him, Greg Burns.
Well, the battle of the big and little. The Tirana, one of the smallest cars of the track, has a small block Chevy with a supercharger, and he will be leaving the start line first. Greg Burns has a chance to reset his record with the Double B funny car, and it looked like a slow start from Burns. They're chasing very, very hard. The torque of the big block Chevy gets the win for the funny car.
An 8.11 at 212 Ks for Greg Burns, and he moves through to the next round.
John Napier, glad to be in the semi-finals. This is a JP1 all-aluminium racing engine in his funny car. Racing alongside him, a 454 big block Chevy. It's been stretched to 460 cubic inches. The car driven by Clive Hudson.
John Napier with that explosive paintwork. The trees are locked away. The guys are ready to go. Green lights come on. Hudson's out first. Napier's on the chase. It's going to be interesting at the top end of the quarter.
Well, Napier with lots of legs is going to run a much faster speed and gets the win. In fact, Napier with the parachute out well before the finish line and going through with a 7.5 and winning by just over a car length. A little bit cocky, throwing that chute out early, Frank.
Yes, a lot of confidence there. George Saparovich back on the line now.
Saparovich already holding half the national record. If he can go quicker than his national speed record one more time, he'll be claiming that mark. He's also chasing that national ET record.
Rob DeMamiel, the Holden Calais, running in the B gas bracket.
An A gasser and a B gasser. The white car gets to lead the start line first. It has a slightly slower national record and almost 4/10 between them, but DeMamiel did not wait. Brought up the red light start, giving a free run to George Saparovich, who'll go as hard as he can to set that record, and he has improved on both the speed and the ET. George Saparovich, a big run. DeMamiel's wheel stand costing him a red light.
Terry Stacey on the track now in the little Road Emotion Mazda. An RX-7 running a Road 380, and Terry Stacey has found the combination right this time.
Stevie Flynn's alongside this Buick-powered Commodore is coming into its own, really beginning to dominate superstock in Australian drag racing. The Mazda gets to move first, but Flynn will make an enormous amount of torque at half-track. The turbo Mazda on the rev limiter. You see the light inside the car, but Flynn drives past him and gets the win by about a car length.
Steve Flynn through to the next round, the finals. Murray O'Connor on the track now. Murray O'Connor and John Scialpi side by side, and Stuart Bond, another top pass coming up.
Well, the crowd absolutely loved the burnout. Scialpi hung back and let the West Australian perform his burnout all by himself, and the crowd cheered loudly. Scialpi, with a much bigger engine and a lighter car, doesn't need to burn out as far down the track. The car will develop traction with cooler tyres, and the great big tyres under Scialpi's car will help him leave the start line fast. O'Connor gritting his teeth. He's got a big job right now.
Both vehicles locked away. They come out side by side. John Scialpi from the USA and the 57 Chevy's on another good number. He's going to get there first. Picks up the win with a 6.7 at 320k.
That incredible supercharger one as they come across the top end.
Coming at you from Triple M Ravenswood Raceway, and Stuart, tonight we take a look at the finals in all brackets.
Well, with 10 classes of competition in Australian drag racing and over 120 competitors at the track today, there was lots of competition from 1 o'clock until now. These are the finals, and this is John Short racing in Super Street. His competition is Rod Brown. Rod's car has a 350 small block Chevy in the Little Morris, and John Short using all Chrysler. Brown gets the win.
Modified bike eliminator final now. Paul Newhoff, a big step up for Paul Newhoff this season, and great to see him on the track. Up alongside him, Gavin Carlini.
Gavin Carlini gets to lead the start line first with a slower handicap, but Paul Newhoff, with big top-end speed, is going to get the win. Newhoff takes it with an 880.
Grant Kennedy, the Ford-powered Capri, a Ford 351 on board up alongside Debbie Moore in the little Tirana Stewart Ford versus Chevy final.
Well, people love to see the small block Chevys racing against the Cleveland Fords. Graham Kennedy, good strong burnout and a good lead for that car. Gives himself the advantage up the start line and wins by a wheel.
Modified eliminator final, Mike Redwood, John Craig in the other lane. The bucket comes out first, but he's got some problems. Redwood's going to go on with the win in the dragster and picks up the win with an 880 at 205 Ks.
Competition bike final, and Louis Cotter, WA's most experienced comp bike racer, is competing against Mick Sargent, a brand new racer in the past 2 seasons. Sargent putting up a great effort, but Cotter on the blue bike gets an easy win with an 8.42.
Superstock finals now, and George Saparovich, a big strong burnout from George. Up alongside him, Stu, Steve Flynn.
Well, Flinny looking through Saparovich's smoke. He won't like that at all. No one likes to see a bigger burnout in the other lane. Saparovich with a huge lead on the car, brings up a red light. He won't be worrying about that at the moment. He is storming through the top end, and Saparovich gets there first with an 8.11 at 272. That's a new national record for this team, something they've worked towards for a great deal of time.
Flynn picks up the win. Saparovich the national record.
John Napier in his funny car in the final of Competition Eliminator. Greg Byrne is alongside 2 funny cars, an aluminium engine and an iron engine. The iron engine car gets to go first. Byrne at half track looks like he has an insurmountable lead, and Napier gives the race away. Byrne takes the win with a 706 at 312 Ks, his best pass of the day.
Well, this is the one we've all been waiting for. USA versus Australia. John Scialpi, the 57 Chevy.
And Murray O'Connor, West Australia's own XP Falcon, a 351 Cleveland versus 525 cubic inches of Chevrolet.
Well, home support for Murray O'Connor, as you would expect, but John Scialpi not being face as they back the vehicles up, both looking superb. And Stu, this is going to be a top race.
Well, Murray's burnouts have been well out past half track. You can see the door open on the car reversing simply to get fresh air inside. A Pro 3 for the guys, one flash of the ambers and they're both racing. Scialpi looks like he's got an easy win here and takes it well with a 6.75 at 320 kilometres an hour. Watch O'Connor's car at half track. It seems to shoot some flames out on the left-hand side. He's got a problem with the exhaust valves on the car and shuts the car down. Scialpi with a brilliant run, another back-to-back 6.7 for the win. Well, Frank, that wraps up another exciting meeting from Triple M Ravenswood Raceway.
A great